Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Number 87 on the 2024 49ers roster countdown is a running back, Patrick Taylor Jr. Now, interesting player whenever he was added late, kind of that third round of free agency. I'm just going to be honest with you, like the running back room was tough to start with. Then you got the draft with, trading 2 5th-rounders to go get Isaac Guerendo. Like, it's tough. This is a tough spot. So that's why Patrick Taylor's at 87, who's, kind of a career special teamer. That fourth running back role, that's kind of what he's had throughout his entire career. And we're going to detail that, his background, all those things. Now, he came in at number 87 for us. He had a score of 351 overall. That's all 4 people ranking 1 through 91. He came in with a 351 score. His highest rank was 78. His lowest was 91, which is the very bottom of this scale. Just the difficulty of Patrick Taylor making this roster, it's not just an injury away. It's not just him playing his best football of his career, at age 26. He's still relatively young for, he's been in the league for 4 years. He's 1 year older than rookie Isaac Guerendo. So, like, pre-COVID times to where we are now, it's just a little bit different. So he's wearing jersey number 32, taking over for TDP. Not big shoes to fill there, but 6'2", 217. He is big. Big, strong runner, upright runner, which is fun. 32-inch arms, 26 years old, still really young for how long he's been in the league. Ran a 4.57 40. His top-end speed is kind of one of the things that set him apart. His, 10-yard split, his burst, his acceleration's not bad for a bigger back, but his top-end speed is good. You see him whenever, he went to college at Memphis. You see a lot of big plays. That Memphis offense was awesome. It was him and Darrell Henderson were the 2 running backs. They did that Wildcat where, Patrick Taylor was the quarterback, handling the wide, and a lot of big plays, and he was running away from people all the time. 34-inch vertical, 10-3 broad, 15 bench press reps, pretty solid. Going into his 4th season. Now let's jump back a little bit. Let's go through his background and kind of how he got to where he is. Born and raised in Humble, Texas. What's up, Humble? Has 2 sisters, Nadia and Nakia. Nadia was a big-time soft player for the Chicago Bandits, which is like the national pro fast pitch. And she also played softball at Texas. Hook 'em, baby. Dad was, Patrick Sr., played football at Nicholls State, which is a, kind of a big program in Texas where maybe if you don't have the grades and whatever else, you start there, then you get promoted up. But they get a lot of top-tier talent there. Cousin Coy Fairman was a wide receiver at Memphis. Just a lot of athletes in his family. Now, Patrick, his senior year in high school, he led the Eagles to a 12-2 record, which is really, really cool. And that was their very first kind of winning league. They won the 6A championship 2A in Texas, which is huge. They got to the 4th round, and they were just like not a good team. Humble used to be terrible. Now it's kind of a powerhouse. And they're the first team from Humble ISD to reach the 4th round of Texas State playoffs since 1995. And so he was a part of that. He goes to Memphis, part of some really, really good teams there as well. And he was able to graduate from Memphis with a management degree. Now, he was only a 2-star recruit, and so wasn't really heralded coming out of high school. Now, whenever he gets to Memphis, here's the awesome part. He was part of the Good Works Team nominee. He was a 3-time All-Academic AAC member of the American Athletic Conference. So, like, smarts, good head on his shoulder, helps in the community. That's huge. He was on the Doak Walker and Maxwell Awards watch list. He's awesome. He really took advantage of his time at Memphis. Then he goes undrafted in the 2020 draft, right? That's kind of right before COVID. Goes undrafted with Green Bay. He was there for 4 years. Then at the end of last year, he gets cut, joined the practice squad in New England. That didn't work out. Then the 49ers brought him in right at the end of free agency, right before the draft. So he didn't get any playing time with the Patriots, but in his 4 years with Green Bay, he saw sparing work, mostly special teams. 32 career. This is just last season, by the way. In 2023 with Green Bay, 32 carries, 141 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. Pretty solid. Now you look at his career numbers, you kind of just multiply that times 2. 65 career carries, 261 career rushing yards, 4.0 yards per rush, 1 touchdown, 14 receptions for 69 yards, nice, 7.6 yards per carry. He did have 15 career missed tackles forced on 65 carries, really good. 0 drops, 0 fumbles. And this is who he was in college too. Clean player, like just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But the flip side of that, it's pretty difficult to find the elite traits that would warrant giving him carries in such a high-power offense that the 49ers have. So, injuries, he missed half of his senior year with a foot injury. That was it. Like, he's been healthy. Now, my film, whenever I watched him, big, strong, upright runner, doesn't look fast, but covers a lot of ground with each stride. You get him in the open field, he's going. It's funny because the last 2 running backs that you added, Patrick Taylor Jr. and Isaac Guerendo, pretty much the same. Like, style. Isaac, Guerendo is way better athlete, metrics, all that kind of stuff. Just no experience. Patrick Taylor had a lot of experience. Similar body build, similar play style, all those things. Great receiving back. Jack of all trades that could do it all with a big body. Like, he's physical. Not a lot of negatives to his tape. Talked about, no drops, no fumbles. He's just clean, consistent. But the thing that kind of, like, I'm sitting there and I'm racking my brain. I keep watching his college tape, and I'm just like, what is the one thing that he does consistently well? He falls forward. You block 4 yards for him, he's going to get you 6 every time. That's kind of the thing. Now, will he turn a 4-yard into a 20-yard? Not really. So he's always moving forward, and I think that's why he's been able to hang around the league, and I think that he's still going to be around the league for a while, but he just doesn't really create on his own. Now, I will say this. He's got 291 career special team snaps. That's valuable. The 49ers have put a huge premium this offseason on finding players that can find special teams usage, this multi-purpose, your positional value at running back, but that's not enough. If he's going to make this roster, which I don't see happening, but if he did, special teams is going to be there. Could he be one of those returners? Could he be something like that? Now, the Niners signed him for April 8th, so like right before the draft. A 1-year, $1.05 million deal, 0 guaranteed money. That's life on the back end of an NFL roster. And I need you to move here, do all this stuff, and you might not get paid. His career earnings, $2.2 million, which is really low for 4 years in the league, but he's hanging on. 0 starts in his career, has appeared in 34 different games. And I think, what's the best case scenario? Landing on the practice squad. What's the most likely scenario? Probably not going to be on the practice squad without an injury. Let's look at the running back depth chart, right? You've got 5 locks for 4 spots. Kyle Juszczyk kind of changes that, but CMC, lock. Elijah Mitchell, lock. Kyle Juszczyk, lock. Isaac Guerendo, lock. JP Mason, lock. Like, those guys are not being cut, period. Then you bring in Cody Schrader, who's probably everybody's favorite undrafted free agent, and Patrick Taylor. I think Patrick Taylor's got to be at the back end of that. So you're talking an injury or 2 to get him that opportunity to be at that spot. Can he do it? We'll see. Maybe he could surprise, but man, there's just so much youth and upside at the back end of that running back spot with, JP Mason and Cody Schrader. Patrick Taylor's going to have to leapfrog all those guys, and I think he's going to need some help. But really glad to learn about his story, and I love these survivors, these guys that just find a way to stick around and hang around the league and build for their families. Patrick Taylor, we're rooting on you, man. Got to say thank you to the legends, the producers of this series, Dave, Zach, and Josh. You guys are killers. You are crushing it. Appreciate it. And for us, we'll just keep counting them down.